I've read the first 2 chapters of Portrait of Decay, written by J.R. Blaines. By the time I'm through the book, I should remember that name. Okay, so there's a prologue. So I've read through the prologue and the first 2 chapters. The prologue starts off. It's coming in hot. It's got some weird stuff happening. You're like, you kind of like, what? Well, modern readers know kind of what gets pushed around, especially in horror spaces. Not that I'm overly familiar with contemporary horror. I just know the general trends of where things go to. Seasoned readers might not find it as disturbing as it is, like if you had read the events in a news headline. But what am I even talking about? Okay. So in the prologue, there's this woman named Angelique. She's in this terrible marriage, and she's got a young son, an infant. What's his name? Kellen. All right, and Kellen, he's going through the young infantile fits that babies are prone to. But Angelique, she's got some trouble upstairs, right? She loves this child, but she's got this voice in her head that's telling her to harm the kid, to kill him, in order to get him to quit crying. And it's all processed through this terrible marriage she's in. I forget the guy's name, but it's just an abusive and controlling husband. She can't eat or sleep or do anything without his say-so. It's that kind of abusive environment. And the way this is filtered in the scene through Angelique's experiences and her family members. All right, because her family's got this history of schizophrenia, so it could be coming in through that angle. The voices she's hearing in her head, pressuring her to take these drastic, violent actions. There's also this angle that I think it's her sister or someone in her family presents to her as like it's some sort of voodoo curse, in which like the rest of the book is based on the back matter is going to like start pushing it in that supernatural direction. But I do appreciate that there is on the back burner this more naturalistic explanation for what's going on, because it puts there then sowing the seeds of doubt, both for the reader and for the characters within the scene, to drive some of that drama. Now, I don't know whether that's going to continue on. There is the danger of like in like supernatural stories, there is the danger of all the characters sitting around spinning their wheels, doing everything they can to not admit there's a vampire in the old castle, or stuff like that. It's like, what is can be possibly the case? And then you're 3/4 of the way through the book before everybody finally admits that there's something going on. I don't expect that to happen here. I think everything's gonna maybe a little bit of that, but everything's gonna be keyed up pretty quick. Is the impression I'm getting. But that's just the prologue. And then the introduction hits, and it's the guy we read about on the back matter. Was it Jefferson something? Jefferson Fontenot. And he's this up-and-coming new hip artist. He's got a place in this gallery, but they're kind of like kicking him back beneath the stairs a little bit. And so his girlfriend, who's this real piece of work, is arguing with the gallery. I don't know if she's the owner or just the manager of the gallery, but they're arguing back and forth trying to get this guy. And then it ends up like Gemma. She's filthy rich, and she controls the gallery through donations and stuff like that. And so it's that kind of monetary extortion kind of stuff. And so Gemma forces the hand of Camille, the gallery manager, to sort of like swap places, more or less, between Jefferson and then this other artist, this photographer, Nevaeh, in which Nevaeh and Jefferson are friends from way back in the day when they were both in art college and all this sort of connections. And Gemma's controlling and jealous, and Jefferson is just this simp. He's this is flounder, absolutely limp. Anyway, there's one thing in this opening chapter, and like the author makes a point of this in the paragraph where Nevaeh is introduced, and is that Nevaeh is wearing hand-stitched, hand-stitched is the wrong word. She's wearing clothes she made for herself at home from found materials. Like she bought these like crazy far out jeans from the 70s at a thrift store, and she'd repurpose them into a dress that she's wearing the day she goes to the gallery. Now, something like that specific pointed out catches my attention a little bit, because like particular elements pointed out that are not immediately prevalent within the scene are put there either to reveal something about setting, plot, character, theme, or some fifth mystery option. I don't think possible, but I don't think the plot is going to have to do with Nevaeh being a seamstress or some sort of tailor. Setting, I don't think that has to do with. So I think it has to do with character or the fifth mystery option here. The character, I think it's getting at this like Nevaeh's like not like other girls type stuff, especially with something that happened in chapter 2, which is the darker counterpoint of that. In chapter 2, there's a scene where Nevaeh is reaching for a drink, and the cuff of her shirt slips up her arm, and somebody sees that her arm is scarred up, where she'd hurt herself in the past. And so, like, like these two things are like this, not necessarily intentionally counterpointing each other, but one's like a light aspect of Nevaeh's characters, and one's like a dark aspect of Nevaeh's character, juxtaposed in the two chapters. So that could be going on here, or like I say, that fifth mystery option is just that the ethereal authorial instincts of J.R. Blaine's, so that just as an author, like instinctually, he feels that this detail about Nevaeh making this dress is important, though he might not be able to articulate exactly why it is important. It may not appear again within the scene. He includes it, well, not it within the scene or within the book as a whole. He includes it. It's probably not important. I'm spending too much time thinking and talking about that just detail that's offered in passing. But just 2 chapters in, I gotta talk about something here. Chapter 2. So Camille, the manager of the gallery, she's throwing this big shindig for all the artists that are going to be featured. It's still a couple of weeks before the sale. The gallery is supposed to have this big exhibition, but everybody's out here partying and having a good time. And it's told from the point of view of Gemma, the bad girlfriend, and she's just petty and callous and and vengeful. I mean, the chapter literally ends with her, deciding. Not that she had not decided this before. This is a natural part of her character, her instinct. But she's deciding that if Jefferson ever leaves her, she's going to take out the biggest, most excruciating revenge. Which that's not. Which I mean, chapter 2 is not spoilers, but it's also like, yeah, that's what we read on the back matter. Everything's being set up to take us where we've been promised to go. Good stuff. I'm liking it so far. It's very readable. That sounds like damning by faint praise. It is easy to get in here and read it and just go in the flow of the story. The trouble I'm having here is that I don't find any of the characters so far particularly likable. They're all just young and full of themselves, or they're like Jefferson and they're just spineless, being pushed around here and there. Which, granted, what I anticipate is that Jefferson, like this characteristic of him being just so easy to manipulate and push around, is kind of be the crux. Like, we're promised from the back matter that he's going to take some poison pill and become some voodoo zombie, right? Which, in its aspects, they control the I don't know what the word is for, like, witch doctor or voodoo priest or whatever the word is for that exerts on the zombie. Is not thematically is not dissimilar to the influence that an abusive partner has in a relationship. Right? When we had the prologue with the abusive husband and the influence he was having, either directly through his abuse or subtly through the emotional aspects of the abuse, or directly through some hidden means of voodoo on his wife Angelique. And then we have the abuse that Gemma is placing on everyone in the vicinity, which is Camille, which is Nevaeh, which is this other artist named Marcel, and most specifically and pointedly is Jefferson. The two things thematically they overlap. So I think that's what Gerald Blaine is trying to get at in juxtaposing these ideas. Well, that's not juxtaposition, but what is it? It's just paralleling these ideas next to each other. Okay, so that gets me 2 chapters in, prologue and 2 chapters in. That's about 50 pages, more or less. I'm going to cut the video off here because I'm probably just rambling at this point. Like I said, I've just summary. I don't like the characters, but I do think the plot so far is interesting and that it can go in interesting places. And as I go along and spend time with these characters and see them in more depth and more facets of how they react and how they act and react, I'll probably either grow to like them more or just become more accustomed to them and get entrenched deeper into the story. That's all I got to say about that. I'll talk to you later.